One of the most powerful psychological shifts you will ever experience is realizing that people begin respecting you the moment you stop desperately needing them. Because in modern society, many people unconsciously chase validation, attention, approval, and emotional reassurance from others. And the tragic part is this: the more desperately you seek validation, the less people value your presence. But emotionally powerful individuals understand something different. Respect is rarely earned through chasing. It is earned through emotional control, self-respect, and the ability to remain calm and detached in a world addicted to attention. Today, you'll learn the power of cold indifference. Not cruelty. Not arrogance. Not emotional suppression. But the dangerous psychological power of becoming emotionally unshaken by people who try to control your worth. And once you master this, people begin seeing you very differently. The invisible truth most people misunderstand: indifference. They assume it means becoming emotionless, cold-hearted, or disconnected from humanity. But true indifference is not emotional emptiness. It is emotional independence. It means your emotional state no longer depends entirely on other people's opinions, other people's approval, or other people's behavior toward you. And that changes your entire presence psychologically. Because emotionally dependent people radiate insecurity. Emotionally independent people radiate power. The first shift: why desperation destroys respect. One of the harshest truths about human psychology is that excessive availability often destroys perceived value. The more desperate someone appears for attention, the less psychologically valuable they become. You see this everywhere. People over-explaining themselves, double texting constantly, begging for validation, trying too hard to impress everyone, fearful of disappointing others. And over time, people begin sensing emotional dependence. This creates a dangerous imbalance. Because when someone believes your emotional stability depends on them, they unconsciously begin respecting you less. Why? Because dependence reduces psychological tension. And tension creates value. This is why emotionally calm people often appear more attractive, more respected, and more powerful socially. Not because they are louder, but because they are emotionally self-contained. They do not constantly chase emotional reassurance. And human beings instinctively respect people who appear emotionally grounded. The second shift: mastering emotional non-reactivity. Cold indifference becomes powerful when you stop reacting emotionally to everything. Most people are emotionally predictable. Insult them, they explode. Ignore them, they panic. Criticize them, they collapse emotionally. Manipulative people exploit this constantly. They study emotional reactions. Because emotionally reactive individuals are easier to control. But psychologically disciplined people become difficult to manipulate because they control emotional reactions. Imagine two people. The first person becomes emotionally unstable every time someone disapproves of them. The second person remains calm, observant, and emotionally composed. Who appears more powerful? Who appears more respected? Who appears mentally stronger? Calmness creates authority. Emotional chaos destroys it. And this is why cold indifference feels intimidating to emotionally manipulative people. Because they lose emotional access to your nervous system. They can no longer provoke you easily. And once people realize they cannot emotionally control you, their behavior toward you changes dramatically. The third shift: detachment creates power. Human beings often value what feels psychologically scarce. This applies to attention, time, energy, and emotional availability. When someone constantly seeks approval, their presence becomes psychologically predictable. But emotionally detached individuals create uncertainty. Not toxic uncertainty. Psychological independence. They are not controlled by loneliness. They are not desperate for validation. They are not emotionally collapsing over rejection. And this creates silent power. Many people spend their lives trying to be liked by everyone. But powerful individuals understand something important: respect matters more than temporary approval. Because approval is unstable. Respect is durable. And ironically, people often respect you more once they realize you are willing to walk away from disrespect. This is why boundaries matter psychologically. Cold indifference teaches people, your attention is earned, not guaranteed. The fourth shift: the danger of over-explaining. One habit that silently destroys respect is constant over-explaining. Weak-minded people feel the need to justify every decision emotionally. Why? Because they fear judgment. But psychologically strong people understand, not everyone deserves an explanation. You do not need universal approval to make decisions that protect your peace. Over-explaining often signals emotional insecurity. It communicates, "I need you to emotionally validate my choices." And manipulative people sense this immediately. Cold indifference changes this dynamic completely. You become comfortable with misunderstanding. Comfortable with silence. Comfortable with not needing everyone to agree with you. And strangely, this often increases respect dramatically. Because emotionally grounded individuals appear more confident. The final shift, becoming emotionally untouchable. The highest level of cold indifference is emotional self-control during disrespect. Anyone can stay calm when life is easy. But true psychological strength appears when someone insults you, betrays you, rejects you, or underestimates you. Most people react impulsively. But emotionally disciplined individuals pause, observe, and refuse to emotionally self-destruct over temporary emotional situations. This does not mean tolerating disrespect forever. It means responding strategically instead of emotionally. Sometimes the most powerful response is silence. Sometimes distance. Sometimes complete emotional withdrawal. Not because you are weak, but because your peace matters more than emotional drama. And this mindset changes your entire presence. People begin sensing, you are not emotionally easy to control. Final reflection: cold indifference is not about hating people. It is about mastering yourself emotionally. It is the ability to remain calm in chaos. Detached from unnecessary validation. Unshaken by emotional manipulation. And emotionally disciplined in a world addicted to reactions. Because the moment your happiness no longer depends entirely on other people, you become psychologically powerful. And people feel that energy immediately. If this video changed your perspective, subscribe to the Mental Forge for more videos on psychological strength, emotional mastery, stoic resilience, and the hidden laws of human behavior. Protect your peace. Control your emotions. And never let desperation destroy your power.